do. So Lori Padron says have an annual fee of $250 for those that will commit to 2 years of service, and if it's 1 year, $350. Price is based on trial base. If you have many people you may want. Okay, wow, that's great. So if you may, let's say she says, do a promotional camp on it. If you have a price reasonable, it will help more people to be involved. I totally agree with you on that. People love a great affordable price. Money talks. Not taking anything away from how valuable the lessons and songs are. Of course, thank you so much. However, your goal is to reach thousands, correct? Yes, ma'am. Because you will. Because you will. Sorry, I'm not reading this right. This is bigger than you think. God will open up new doors for many through this ministry, bro. Anointed music will flow. I believe that's this. Thank you so much. Alonzo says, Loop Community has request songs, but they have a 2-week turnaround. That's pretty cool. That's a great idea. And of course, like I said, I'm not trying to compete with Loop Community. I'm not trying to compete with multi-tracks. I don't believe I can. Not at this point. I really don't. I believe that they're doing what God has called them to do, and it's fantastic. What they're doing, I mean, with Prime and the multi-tracks, the Play app, I mean, it's unbelievable. That was my original dream 7 years back, before all this stuff started already happening. But then I thought, okay, somebody's already doing it. I'm going to stick to this. But now there's such a great need that's not being filled. And that makes me feel like I have to respond. If I'm going to keep minstrels open, if I'm going to keep minstrels something that's a blessing and a resource to people, I have to respond. You know what I mean? Yang Lee, hey, how you doing? Yolanda Royal says, that would be perfect. Just need to understand how to use your material live. Okay, so Sister Yolanda, the way it would work basically is when you would get your track, the way I would have it, I would have it be a download. Right now, they're just streaming. If you're an MPAC user, right now you can stream the tracks that we have available, and there are just a few of them, and there's not the way it's about to be where it's a subscription. But you can download them, and you just put them in a playlist in your iTunes, and make your playlist for the Sunday. From your available tracks, you just put them in there. You know what I mean? Make your playlist, make a few playlists, make 10 playlists, from the different tracks. You can, by the time we're done with the year, you'll be able to have all kinds of playlists that you can make, slow ones, fast ones. And we'll be sure to vary, you know what I mean? Not just the language, but the types of songs, slow songs, fast songs, popular songs, older songs. I'll do my very best to vary. And of course, if I can do more than one song a week, say I have a lot of time in my hands, and somebody's really asking, I need this one Spanish song, I'll make those songs available. Because sometimes I do that for students where I have time. Of course, with 6 children and pastoring and different things like that, it could be a big challenge to find extra time, to be honest. But I do here and there. And with my extra time, I do dedicate it to making these resources valuable enough that people would share them and say, hey, you need to get this for your church. Even if you guys already have musicians, you could use these tracks either with them, which most churches do. Even churches like Joel Osteen's church, he has a plethora of musicians. They still use tracks. You know what I mean? And so this would be really, really good. I like the thought of being able to continue the loop instead of stopping because the track ended. The struggle is real. Yes, I do understand that, Sister Yolanda. That's a really, really great point. And there is a way to do that. Let me explain. This would take a little bit more training on your guys' side. There's a lot of videos on it, but if you look to either Play app or you look to the Loop Community, they do actually have options where you can create markers and you can keep on looping stuff. Of course, that's something you would have to do on your own. I could just provide the music for you in a full arrangement. And then from there, of course, if you want to redo choruses, you can use apps like the Play app, or excuse me, not Play, Playback. Sorry about that. Playback app from Multitracks or Prime. You could use Prime from Loop Community. That's the name again. It's called Prime. And yes, of course, it would allow you to do it. I mean, Sister Yolanda, there's so much technology now. If you could just find one person in your church that'd be willing to dedicate themselves to they don't have to be crazy musician. Just they love their phone and they love learning. Just let them go and look up Loop Community. Look up multitracks.com. On there, of course, you will find the different connections to their apps and stuff like that. Now, having said that, Prime, Loop Community and Prime, okay? So it's Loop Community. They made Prime the app for free. Once you get my tracks, they will allow you to upload them to your own cloud and you can add them to your own playlists, okay? And that's a different talk for a different time. I will, once I start making these tracks available, I will do tutorials on how to use my tracks in Prime, how to use my tracks in multi-tracks and all these different Loop Community things. But for now, I have to start somewhere. And that's seeing, is this a viable option? What would people pay? You know what I mean? Can I afford to do that? And can we take the time to do it? Because sometimes I say, hey, let's do this. And people are like, yeah. And then we did like a class or something and 3 people showed up and I committed myself. So man, I really, really, really lost financially, not spiritually, but you have to think about the bottom line sometimes when you have children and you're operating full-time ministry, Yolanda says, we have him. Brother George, I'm going to send him this video. Thank you. I would definitely say to do that. Misael Lira says, would they be available for DAWs like Ableton in case we want to use only certain stuff like the loops or just the MP3? The M loops are so great, brother. Misael Lira, thank you. He's already an MPAC subscriber or an MPAC student. He already has them. He is saying that he likes the loops. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Anytime people bless us like that, it means a lot to us. And what I wanted to say regarding that really quick is that the tracks, I would be able to make them available to the DAWs, but that would be a lot extra time. So depending on how many subscribers we would have and how much we would charge, that would kind of, determine that. But let me say this. If we were to get enough subscribers on this, I could probably keep it. I imagine, even though I don't have as many resources as Loop Community, as many resources or backing as Multitracks for sure, because they're huge. I would be willing to be competitive with them, and I would be willing to make the tracks, the stems available. I think that's something I think I could do that. So I would have to say yes if I'm going to do that. I'll make sure to make it clear on the website though. Just so you guys know, my friend Elias Tercero, he's our designer. He does all of our designs for all the things that you see that's branded Minstrels TV. Of course, some of the designs, of course, I fool with. If they're ugly, they're mine. But as far as the branding, the logos, everything, that's all Elias. And Elias has already created the website for me. It's actually been created almost 2 years now. Tell you how long I've been sitting on this promise in my heart. But I really, really appreciate if we were to actually go through with this. Now that I have a little bit more time, like I said, some of you might know, I'm leaving being the manager here at Advent Records to my brother and moving only to my record and only to doing, minstrel stuff. But anyways, my point to you guys today is that if I can do that, I just kind of want to see what you think it would be worth. I'm getting a lot of great feedback, and I'm very, very grateful to those of you that are offering your feedback. Cesar Perez Jr. Hey, by the way, Cesar, I loved your video the other day, man. It was great. Cesar says, what if you offer church subscriptions as well, where any member of the worship band can use it if they are registered for the $300 yearly? You know what, Cesar, that's a great idea. Or more, because honestly, this is legit stuff. Cesar, thank you so much, man. John and Priscilla Almaraz, welcome. Yolanda Arroyo says, Unity Worship Center is in. Thank you, guys. Lori says, since you have taken a loss in the past, you may want to start this project with an annual fee for the first year, and those that were on the first year can have the benefit of monthly payment option. You know what, Lori, you're like super smart. I really appreciate that. I was leaning towards that, but I do understand, like what Alonzo Parra is saying, is like, man, you got to make it competitive. And I totally agree. There can be a time, because see, for me, here's the thing. This is the thing I'm just cautious of, okay? The thing I'm cautious of moving forward is, okay, I commit to everybody. I'm going to do 52 videos in English, 52 videos in Spanish, 52 tracks in English, 52 tracks in Spanish. And now, if I commit to the multi-tracks, stemming each of those tracks does take a lot of time. So if I were to commit to that, I would imagine that would take 2 to 3 working days for me. I'm just imagining, let's say 2 working days for me every week. If I were to commit to that for the year and only get like 3 people signed up, I would literally make like $1 an hour. And my wife would kill me. She'd be like, no, what are you doing? No, she wouldn't. My wife is super giving, and I'm just joking. She backs me up on everything, really. I'm just being funny. But my point is, I always have to be careful launching something brand new. Even my record, asking people to back us up on myadventrecords.com. Some have, and it was a small amount, you know what I mean? But I already committed to it, and I'm going to do it. And I did what I promised. I sent my backers their single, just like I had promised, you know what I mean? But whenever you do something like that in good faith, you better make sure you're walking with God, and you better make sure that God is really the one that called you to do it. And so, for this student thing, I have all these things in my heart, but I want to make sure the timing's right. I want to see, do people, are they even interested in it? Will they be a part of it? Anyways, I've taken so much time already. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you for joining. Please feel free to write comments on this thread, as many as you can. And I'm going to take all this information and we're going to take it back. Me, Brother Philip, who is our site content creator, Elias, who is our designer, and DJ, and the other teachers that are going to help us. I really want to take this back and really, really be a blessing with this. And if God permits, I would love to open up very soon, early in the year, and we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, thank you. Please, if you find somebody that's interested in this video, please tag them or share this with them. It means a lot to us. Thank you guys so much. God bless.